my son a goddamn apology.
Take it easy.
Get it, Jimmy! Get in there! Jimmy, stop it!
Gotcha.
Hey, broker.
The movie opens with tension already in the air. A dangerous biker gang known as the Outcasts pulls up to one of their hidden clubhouses. From the outside, it looks abandoned. But inside, it's something much darker, a fully operating meth lab. The gang's leader, Danny, walks in with confidence. This is his world. His rules. Standing beside him is one of his most trusted men, Phil Broker. Phil listens quietly as Danny talks business, planning the next meth shipment. And here's what makes it worse. Danny's young son, Jojo, is right there in the room, listening to everything. This kid is being raised inside crime, guns, and drugs. Phil notices it, but says nothing. Because Phil is hiding something. Suddenly, sirens. The doors explode open as DEA agents storm the building. Guns drawn. Chaos erupts instantly. Gang members scramble. Some fight back. Others try to run. At the center of it all, the DEA commander asks one question: where's our undercover agent? And then the truth drops. Phil Broker is the undercover agent. Danny realizes it in a split second. His face changes. Rage floods in. He grabs Jojo and tries to escape as bullets fly everywhere. Phil helps an injured DEA agent instead of chasing Danny right away. And just as they move to leave, collision, the building explodes. Danny escapes in a car. Phil jumps on a motorcycle and chases him down the road at full speed. Up ahead, a police roadblock. Danny tries to turn around, but it's too late. Phil crashes his bike, slides across the pavement, and opens fire at Danny's car. The car explodes. Phil runs toward the wreckage and pulls Danny out. He arrests him. But then Jojo pulls out a gun. Phil shoots Jojo in the leg, forcing him to drop the weapon. Police surround the boy, shouting at him to surrender. But Jojo doesn't listen. He chooses death. Gunshots ring out. Jojo is killed. Phil stands frozen. Shocked. Destroyed. Danny screams in pain and fury, blaming Phil for his son's death. That moment breaks something inside Phil, a guilt that will never leave him. And with that, Phil Broker walks away from that life forever. 2 years later, the story shifts to a quiet Louisiana town. At a school playground, Phil's daughter Maddie plays alone. She's calm. Polite. Quiet. Then a bully named Tommy Clean starts harassing her. He pushes her. Insults her. Maddie warns him once. Then twice. He doesn't stop. So she defends herself. And she breaks his nose. The school immediately calls Phil. At the same time, Phil is working as a carpenter, trying to live a simple life. He rushes to the school and finds Tommy being treated by the nurse while his parents demand punishment. Tommy's mother, Cassie Bowden, explodes in anger. She screams at Phil and has to be pulled away by the sheriff. Phil talks privately with Maddie. She explains everything. He realizes she used the self-defense skills he taught her. He blames himself, but he's also quietly proud. A teacher named Susan talks with Phil, and we learn something important: Maddie's mother is dead. Phil moved to this town because it was her mother's hometown, and because Maddie loves horses. Outside the school, Cassie sends her husband Frankie to confront Phil. Frankie tries to intimidate him. Big mistake. Phil takes Frankie down in seconds, humiliating him in front of everyone. The sheriff steps in and tells Phil he's not in trouble, but warns him to keep things calm. Cassie, humiliated and furious, decides to escalate things. She goes to her brother. Cassie's brother Gator is a local meth dealer with a violent reputation. She demands he handle Phil. Gator agrees. Meanwhile, Phil tries to do the right thing. At a school meeting, Susan suggests he apologize to Tommy's family to calm things down. Phil goes to apologize to Jimmy, Tommy's father. Jimmy accepts, but suggests Phil also apologize to Cassie. Phil agrees. But on the way back, at a gas station, Gator's men provoke Phil. It turns into a brutal fight. Phil destroys them effortlessly. When Gator hears about it, he gets curious. Who is this guy? While Phil is out with Maddie, Gator breaks into Phil's house. What he finds shocks him. Old records. Photos. Phil Broker isn't just a carpenter. He's a former undercover DEA agent. And he was involved in the death of Jojo, Danny's son. Gator smiles. This changes everything. Soon after, Phil notices his car tire slashed. Inside the house, Maddie's favorite doll is destroyed. Someone's been inside. Phil knows exactly who it is. Ignoring the danger, Gator contacts the Outcasts biker gang, offering Phil's identity in exchange for drug territory. The hunt begins. Phil suspects Jimmy and confronts him, but Jimmy swears he has nothing to do with it. Later, Phil gets a lead from his old DEA contact about a woman named Marie, connected to Gator. Phil tracks Gator to a cafe and confronts him directly. Gator threatens him. Brings up Maddie. Phil warns him coldly, if anyone steps on my property again, they won't leave alive. Gator denies everything. But Phil knows the truth. That night, Phil sneaks into Gator's boat repair shop, which doubles as a meth lab. He finds drugs. Equipment. Evidence. Before leaving, Phil rigs the electrical system to explode when the lights are turned on. But then he notices something worse. Maddie's cat is missing. Before he can react, Phil is ambushed, captured, and tortured by Gator's men. They threaten Maddie. That's when Phil snaps. He kills them all. Brutally. Efficiently. And escapes with the cat. The Outcasts biker gang arrives, demanding Phil's location. Gator gives them Phil's address. At Phil's farm, his friend Tito arrives to help with the horses, just as the gang shows up. Tito is attacked but manages to stab one of them before being badly injured. Gunfire erupts. Phil rushes Maddie into the basement and arms himself. What follows is all-out war. Phil fights through the attackers, but one of them spots Maddie and chases her into the woods. Phil kills him just in time. But during the chaos, Marie kidnaps Maddie and escapes by boat. Phil arrives too late. Police show up. Tito is barely alive. Then, Maddie manages to call Phil, giving away her location. Phil races after them. At Gator's hideout, Cassie and Jimmy arrive, looking for Maddie. Cassie turns on the lights. Collision: the meth lab explodes. In the chaos, Gator shoots Cassie and drags Maddie away. A high-speed chase follows. Cars crash. Roadblocks fail. Phil's car wrecks, but he keeps running. Finally, Gator aims his gun at Phil. Maddie screams for her father. That moment distracts Gator. Phil attacks. He beats Gator nearly to death. But he doesn't kill him. Instead, Phil says, "You're alive because of her." Police arrive. Maddie is safe. Father and daughter walk away together. Ending Homefront isn't just an action movie. It's a story about guilt. About protecting family. About a man trying to escape his past, and realizing he can't. But he can choose what kind of father he'll be. And in the end, that's the fight that really mattered.